Why, hello there. I'm Sin. We are in the Book Nook, and today we're going to talk about all the books in my week, what I'm in the middle of, what I'm going to get into, and what is in my future of books. So, right now I'm in the middle of two different books. One of those is This Cursed House by Del Sandine, and it follows the story of this character named Gemma, and she lived in Chicago. She was adopted, and her parents have both at this point passed away. She was living with this guy who knocked up this other woman, and basically a lot of bad stuff happened where she's staying with her friend Betty now, and she's out of that man's house, and she gets this letter. It's to go down to New Orleans, be a tutor for this family, and she's going to get paid quite a bit of money. That is like triple the salary she was making as a teacher. So she takes this job and she goes down there. And when she gets there, the family seems nice and they're kind of weird and seem maybe a little eccentric. And it seems like there's no kid that she's going to actually be tutoring. And she's like, okay, what exactly am I doing? And they're like, oh, you're going to be like an assistant for Grandmere and, help her in the library and do this other stuff. And what turns out happening is it seems that she has an actual connection to this family, and this family is cursed. And every 7 years, someone dies, and they die on her birthday. All this weird stuff starts happening, and she just keeps digging up all these lies that this family has told her. And it's I feel like I'll give away way too many spoilers if I get too deep into it, but it's awesome so far. It is a gripping story. It's really moving. It takes place in the early 1960s, so there's a ton of racial tension and a lot of racist crap going on. And there's all kinds of messed up stuff with this family history. And it's trying to figure out like how to break this curse. Is that even possible? Is Gemma somehow going to be able to do this? It's a great read so far. It's so freaking good. I have not been able to put it down. Well, I had to make this video. And I'm so close to being done. I have like not much more. It's like that much more. I wanted to finish it earlier today. I just didn't get to. Because adult stuff. The other book I'm in the middle of is the second book in the Conjure series. And this one is called A Gathering of Weapons. And I'm not too far into it. In the first one, there are these three sisters, and they go to their aunts, and they start learning how to do stuff that a Conjure woman does. There's a bunch of crazy stuff that happens in the first one. I really enjoyed it. And then I really enjoyed the character Pee-wee in it, which is Hattie Mae, is Pee-wee's actual name. But Hattie's a tiny little thing, so Pee-wee is her nickname. So in this second follow-up book, Pee-wee is now 13. I think she was 7 in the first one. It's been a minute since I read the first one, but she's 13. She's coming into her own. She's now been studying for several years to be a conjure woman, but it seems like the arrogance of youth is kind of getting to her because she thinks she's a little too big for her britches. So, like I said, I'm not too far in. I'm to the part where her aunt's boyfriend has found out where his sister is being held in this town's jail, and they are going to go and try to break her out. And the town seems like you don't want to be a not white person in this town after the sun goes down. So it's a sundown town. So they're going to go and try to break her out. And the aunt is like, I want Pee-wee to go because she's a conjure woman. Their magic might help them. Her boyfriend is Native American. So that's where I'm at in this book. Also, Pee-wee sees spirits, so she starts seeing the spirit of this voodoo woman. And in this house, there seems to be like these secrets and stuff that might be available for her to learn and take into practice. So we'll see what's going on with that. But like I said, I'm not super far in. I think I'm like 30 or 40 pages. I started reading it on EPUB, so I don't know. And then I stopped because I wanted to wait till I got the physical book. I just got this today in the mail. Now I'm gonna read it. I prefer physical over ebooks whenever I can have a physical book. So after that, we get into our first cryptid read for the Cryptid Readathon, and that is The Legend of Ogo Pogo by Jason Hewlett. Now, I have already talked about this book a little bit. I'll read you the short synopsis about it. And also the Cryptid Readathon, if you're interested in that. For the month of November, I will be hosting the Cryptid Readathon with Jason of Jason's Weird Reads and Crystal of Fiber Artsy. And we're going to read weird cryptid books. And if you want some more info on that, I will link the announcement video for that down below, as well as my recommendations for my TBR and some bonus recs for cryptid books to read. And then we also have a Discord and all that stuff, and all that information is in the cryptid videos. But the first book I decided I'm going to read is this one. It's on the shorter side, and I freaking love weird books about lake monsters, ocean monsters, any kind of monster that's in a body of water. It's freaking fascinating to me. So this book, let me just read you the short blurb. To much of the world, Ogo Pogo is Canada's answer to the Loch Ness Monster. Upwards of 60 feet in length with a serpentine body, tail of a whale, and the head of a dragon. This creature is one of the most documented cryptids in the world, and has also become a major tourist attraction and mascot for residents of the Okanagan Valley. In May of 2023, researchers Jason Hewlett and filmmaker Eli Watson ventured to Okanagan Lake in an effort to unlock the mystery of its most famous resident, mixing eyewitness reports, historical research, and boots-on-the-ground investigation. The Legend of Ogo Pogo, Canada's Loch Ness Monster, provides an in-depth exploration of the lake monster story and a possible answer as to what Ogo Pogo might possibly be. And I'm super stoked to get into this. What I'm thinking is I am going to probably finish this Cursed House tonight, and then I'm going to start this. Once I finish this, then I'll finish Tracy Cross's book, and then after that, I'll mostly be reading cryptid books. But I do want to talk about one other book that I got that I'm super excited to read. And this one is called The Threshing Floor, and that's by Steph Nelson. Steph Nelson also wrote a book called The Vein, which I loved. It was so good. It was like horror in the mines. It's creepy, it's weird, and it's awesome. I have a standalone review for that if you are interested in hearing a little more about that. I'll link that down below in the darkness. But this is her newest book, and it's funny, when I read The Vein the first time, like, I had gotten it. It was sent to me by Dark Matter Inc. I just thought it was going to be a vampire book, judging by the title, and it was so wrong. Because I thought, oh yeah, the vein, probably vampires, you know, veins, blood, whatever. And it was like veins in the mine, like, you know, you have a vein of silver and whatnot. So I was totally wrong, and I loved it so much. And I was like, why did I wait so long? So I loved how it was written, and that makes me super excited to read this book by her, because I really like the way she wrote. And I thought this sounded like being pretty good. So let's tell you about it. She'll do anything to save her son, even join a cult. When single mom Dallas learns her toddler Cash needs a heart transplant, she gets desperate. There are no guarantees he'll receive a donor heart in time, and even if he does, she can't afford the expensive procedure. Then Dallas meets Shane. He's part of a mysterious group whose leader claims to be able to heal any disease or injury. Dallas is skeptical at first, and the ritual she witnesses makes her uneasy. But when a broken arm gets healed before her eyes, she can't deny the truth, and she wants the same miracle for Cash. As her son's life hangs in the balance, Dallas must decide how far she's willing to go to save him. Because the miracles in the secret group come at a steep price. Price that may be too high for even the most devoted mother. Sounds like it's going to be really intense, and I think this is going to be a pretty great read, so looking forward to it. So those are what I'm in the middle of, what I'm getting into, and then in the following weeks I will mainly be reading cryptid books, but I just had a few that I'm going to try to squeeze into this month, as well as I'm also supposed to start the last book of The Dark Tower by Stephen King, but I'm having a lot of trouble because that book is like 1,000 pages, and I've been hosting back-to-back readathons, so we'll see if that happens. The Dark Tower might have to wait. I don't know. Oh, we'll figure it out. So many books and not enough time. For real. Anywho, if you enjoy videos where I talk about multiple things I am reading or have read, the next video coming up will be about that. So stick around, check it out. And if you enjoyed hanging out today, hit that subscribe button, come back, see me again, and we'll talk about more bookish things and weird stuff.